Okay, so now we're doing example 3 next, and we're asked to graph A, B, and C. We already know what f of x equal to 2 raised to the x looks like. So we're going to use our transformations here, okay? So what we did that on example 1. So we know that f of x, 2 raised to the x, looks something like this one, right? So we graphed that on example 1, okay? So we're going to use that information and see how this is different. So I'm going to put a box around our basic graph. Oops, sorry, I cannot do that. Please don't do that. So our basic graph includes the exponent, and that -2 is part of the exponent. So you can't just take part of the exponent, you have to take the entire thing, okay? So that -2 is on the inside, and it's connected by subtraction, which means we're going to go to the left 2 because it's going to be the opposite of what you think it is. You remember that? Inside means opposite, so we're going left 2. So originally, our graph looked like this from example 2, and then the difference is this was at 0, -1. Oh, I didn't point that out before. Okay, yeah. So whenever you're working with these types of graphs, it's always going to go through the point 0, 1. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, from that 0, 1 point, we're going to go to the left 2. So I'll go to the left 2, and then you're just going to draw the exact same graph. Okay, so that would be the answer. Alright, so for the next one, we have our basic function. That -4 is on the outside. So it's going to do what we think it's going to do. Since it's negative, we're going to go down 4. So again, when we're graphing this, we think back to our basic graph, which we did on example 1. We know it's going through that point 0, 1. And now we're going to go down 4. So down 1 would put us at 0, 1, 2, 3 would be the 4th one. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we draw that same graph. Okay? And for the last one, here's our basic graph, except it's not quite the same, right? Because we know information about 2 raised to the half, raised to the x, but here this is a half raised to the x. But if you notice, if you look back at your notes, the difference between 1 and 2 is that they're reciprocals first, right? But then when you look at the graph, I stated before that it just flipped over the y-axis. So because it's a half, we're going to flip over the y, okay? And then we have to keep going. Now we have this negative here, okay? This negative is affecting our y. If it was affecting the x, it'd be right next to the x. So this is since it's affecting our y, that's going to be a flip over the x-axis. And then this last one over here, we have this 5, which is on the outside, and it's positive, so that's going to be up 5. So we go up 5, and then we flip x and y, right? So now if we were to graph that, we know that our original graph looks like this, and now we need to do all of these things, okay? So I'm going to flip first. So if we flip over the y-axis, I'm going to erase while I'm doing it. So if we flip over the y-axis, now it's going to look like this, okay? And then if we flip over the x-axis, now it's going to look like this. And then if we go up 5 from there, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now our graph looks like this. And that would be our final graph. Remember, whenever you're drawing, you always start from the inside out, so the closest to the x, and then work your way out. So you want to flip y, then x, and then go up 5. If you were to go up 5 first, you might get the answer wrong.